buy this if you have a budget of more than 2 million. Welcome to this analysis of One Marina Gardens. Hello, I'm Ryan.
Hi, I'm Jaylene.
And today we'll be diving deeper into this development. So what we'll be doing is very different from last time, whereby we analyze a lot on the layouts. For this time round, we'll be running through the numbers in depth, because in this area, predominantly we are seeing a lot of investors coming in. And investors, they only care one thing, which is the numbers. If the numbers make sense, they'll buy. If not, they wouldn't. So with that, let's start.
So actually, a lot of clients, they're asking us this question. Marina area and Tanjong Pagar area properties are losing money. So today, is One Marina Garden something can consider coming to as an investor? So of course, this question we will leave it to later. First, we want to dive in for this project is the information about this project first. So for this One Marina Garden, the developer will be buying Kingsford. So there is total 2 blocks, make up to be 937 units. So these 2 blocks, one there is a 44 level, then the other one is 30 level only. Key thing we can see that this time developer is trying to integrate live, work, play and learn together. Why I say so? Because under the residential plot, there's 4 commercial, so 3 will be shops, 1 restaurant, and the rarely see is more city area project they build childcare central. So as we know, this One Marina Garden is located at a new town in the more central area. So can see developer is trying to encourage more young couple into this area with their young kids, with the convenience to send them to school. So this project is expected to TOP on 2029. And one thing that we can see here is there is only 445 car parks. So why developer can do this way? Because actually this project is the only project that directly linked to MRT. So you can see on this map, here is the Marina South MRT already just at doorstep. So one thing that is quite interesting to know is actually in this new town, there's total 16 plot of land. So we are the first one in this area.
So Jaylene, being the first mover coming into this area, do you think that there's still potential?
It depends. So actually it depends on the land price that will bid in the next 15 plot of land. So if let's say they enter at a higher price next time, today we enter OMG pricing is first mover advantage. So next time we can easily sell at their entry price, then we can exit already. But on the other hand, if let's say one of the land sell cheaper, then maybe we are a bit in risk. So you can see the dark green area here is the Garden by the Bay. So for unit facing over this side, you can see the view if you manage to get higher floor. So maybe we zoom into the side plan so you will have better understanding. So the unit here, just now I mentioned, if you get higher enough, then you can see the Garden by the Bay view. Then for unit over this facing, for now, currently there's an empty plot of land. So if you see far enough, then actually you can see so-called Bay view. But we don't know when the project will be coming out in this empty plot of land. Okay, so I would say this facing point of view will be more confirmed. That's why developer trying to build the bigger unit facing that way. For this project, it's very simple. We total have only 4 types. So it's 1 bedder to 4 bedder. So you can see the green color over here is all the 1 bedder. The blue color one is 2 bedder. Then for skin color over here is our 3 bedder. Then for 4 bedder, only 1 stack, because only 1 type as well.
Which is stack 19.
Stack 19. As we know, for this area is very good in rental. That's why developer strategy this time is build more small unit. So we can see the 1 and 2 bedder, there's total 70% for this whole project. Then for bigger 3 bedder and 4 bedder, only have 30%. So without further ado, let's move on to the analysis. So in today's episode, we will focus more on number. So there's one formula that maybe you guys can refer back if you forgot. It's rental yield. So rental yield, how we derive the rental yield is we take the monthly rental income times 12 months, then we'll come up with the rental income per annum. So we use this rental income per annum, divide by the purchase price, then will be our rental yield already. Okay, so for example, if let's say like rental per month is 4,500, so per year rental is 554,000. Then we take this 54,000 divide by the purchase price, then we come out with the rental yield already. So do remember this formula. Without further ado, now we go into one bedder analysis. So for one bedder, we total have 8 types, ranging from 420 square feet to 452 square feet. So now I pass on to Ryan to do the analysis.
Okay, so for a start, when we talk about rental, we want to know how is the rest of the Singapore performing in terms of rental. So I actually have 3 sectors, which is the OCR, RCR, and the Marina and Tanjong Pagar. So let's see what is the average rental that the 1 bedroom is having over here. So you can see that for Gardens, Treasure, and Park Clementi's, right, they are having a 3.9 to 4% rental yield for the 1 bedroom. In terms of RCR area, One Pearl Bank, Mayfair Modern, and Park Esta, they are having an average of around 3.6% rental yield. Okay, whereas the Marina and Tanjong Pagar area, one of the good things is that you can see over here the rental yield can be as high as 4+%. But of course, there's one not so good one, which is Marina One Residences. This one, the rental yield is around 3.7%, which later will explain why the units here, in fact, they are actually losing money. So among the 3 regions, right, I would say that the Marina and Tanjong Pagar area actually have a very good rental yield, which is as high as 4+%. Okay, so later we will share how come this 4+% is so essential in this area. Now we'll talk about the relationship between the size and the rental per square foot. So why is this important? Because the actual size will actually affect the rental in terms of per square foot. So I give you an example. So imagine I'm a tenant and if I have a budget of $5,000 and there are 2 units for me to consider. One is a 1 bedroom, the size is 400 square feet. The price of the rental is $4,000 versus a bigger 1 bedroom at 600 square feet. This one, the price is $5,000. As a tenant, I don't want to burst my budget. Very likely, I will be going for the 1 bedroom, smaller size at $4,000 because being a tenant, I would purely need the essentials like, for example, a bedroom, a toilet, a kitchen. That will be sufficient for me. So for landlords that is holding smaller unit, right, you will see that in this area, for smaller units, the per square foot will be higher as compared to the bigger units. Bigger units will actually get a lower per square foot. So let's take Tanjong Pagar area as an example because the tenant profile is very similar between Tanjong Pagar and Marina. So I'll be using 4 condos, Icon, Sky Suite, Altes, and The Cliff. So why these 4 condos is because these 4 condos are firstly very closely connected to the Tanjong Pagar MRT, and also you can see the TOP date 2007, 2011 and 2014, meaning they are actually just 4 years apart. And I can say they are relatively new in this area. So you can see we'll be starting from Altes. This Altes has a 1 bedroom that is sized between 600 to 700 square feet, and you can see over here the average rental is around $7. Then we have Icon, a smaller size 1 bedroom at 500 to 600 square feet. This one you can see that the per square foot rental actually increased to $7.5 per square foot. Then we have The Cliff. You can see that The Cliff 1 bedroom, the size is 400 to 500 square feet. So over here, we have an average rental of around $8 to even as high as $10. And lastly, we have Sky Suite and Anson. Sky Suite and Anson 1 bedroom is 300 to 400 square feet. Over here, we have rental transacted as high as $10 to $12 per square foot. So in conclusion, what we want to highlight is that for every 100 square feet drop, there is a 11 to 15% in terms of increment in the rental PSF. So Altes, you can see when it drops to 500, right, the rental per square foot from 710 increases to 790. For Icon to The Cliff, right, 500 to 400 square feet, the rental increase from $7.90 to $9. So next, we come to the Marina area. So for Marina One Residences, you can see that the size over here, for the 1 bedroom is 600 to 700 square feet. You can see that the per square foot over here is around $7.5. And then we have The Sale. The Sale also has 1 bedroom, which is 600 to 700 square feet. This one, the rental is also $7 plus per square foot. So key thing over here is that we realize for Marina area, be it whether you are a new condo or you are old condo, right? The rental per square foot that you are getting is almost similar.
More depends on the size, I would say.
Correct, more depends on the size. Okay, so now we talk about OMG. So for OMG, right, just now we have shared the example is that when you are getting a smaller size unit, your rental per square foot will be going up. So now using the concept of Tanjong Pagar area, let's take a look at how we actually derive OMG potentially to get $11 per square foot. So you can see that the size for one Marina Gardens, one bedder is estimated 400 square feet. The sales is 600 square feet, meaning there is a 200 square feet smaller in terms of size. So just now, based on our Tanjong Pagar concept, is that every 100 square feet down, right, there is a 15% increment in terms of rental per square foot. Basically, given that the sale rental is 780 per square foot, we add another 2 times of 15%. That actually gives us around $10 per square foot. Alright, so of course, this development being connected directly to MRT and it has shops and restaurants, we will just add another $1 to the rental. And that actually allows us to achieve $11. Meaning to say for one bedroom that is 420 square feet, you will be likely to get a rental of up to $4,600 per month.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from for the $11 PSF rental, but a lot of people still wonder if still attractive to the next investor if next time we want to exit.
Just now we mentioned that the keyword here for Marina is to achieve minimally a 4% rental yield. So the question here is that today if we were to exit, will we see any capital appreciation? So let me just give you a scenario. Today if I were to enter this one bedroom at 1.2 million, having a rental of 4,600 allows me to collect a yearly rental of 55,000. And if I were to use 55,000 divided by the purchase price, right, that gives me a rental yield of 4.6%, which is considered very, very good. And today, if I were to sell it at 1.35 million, basically I will be making a capital appreciation of 150,000. Let's work backwards and see today if another investor buy this unit at 1.35 million, what will the rental yield be?
Do you mean next time we resell to another buyer?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So you can see over here, if next time I were to resell it at 1.35 and I were to collect a rental of $4,600, my rental yearly collected will be still be 55,000. And if I were to divide it by the purchase price, which is 1.35 million, the rental yield actually drops, but it is still at the 4% range. So I can say that there will still be potential buyers who want to buy into this development because it still gives a very good rental yield. But on the other hand, today if we were to buy in at 1.35 million and even higher, right, that's where our risk actually gets higher and higher because for every amount that we buy into which is higher, right, our rental yield starts to drop.
Just how you mentioned about 4% rental yield in this area still very attractive. But what is your basis on this 4%? Can you share with me?
Sure. So let's look at this development called Marina One Residences. Just now we mentioned that there are owners who actually lose money over here. So the key thing is we want to understand how come they are actually losing money. So you can see over here, the buyer who bought into this one bedroom of 710 square feet, right? They actually bought in at 1.73 million and they actually lose up to 281,000. Okay. You can see that today, if I were to enter at 1.73, the rental collected for this unit, if I were to use $7.5 times 710 square feet, right, my monthly rental collected is $5,325. And if I were to use this and divide by 1.73 million, right, that actually gives me a not so good rental yield of only 3.6%. Okay, and now let's take a look at the buyer who actually buying at 1.45 million. What is the rental yield that he's actually collecting? So same thing over here, the monthly rental that I'm collecting is 5,325 per month. But if I were to divide it by 1.45 million, that actually gives me a 4.4% rental yield. And that's the reason why you can see in the Marina area, as long as the rental yield is above 4+%, there will definitely be investors who are interested in this product.
Okay, I understand where are you coming from for the 4% rental yield. But just now you mentioned if let's say today we enter at 1.2 and we exit at 1.35, the capital gain is about 100k to 150k.
Yes.
But I'm wondering, is it still worth to consider when come into one bedder investment?
Okay, a lot of people when it comes to property investing, right, they like to use this method. They buy a property and they sell it 3 years later in hopes of getting a huge capital gain. But for one bedroom small units for rental, right, actually you can also consider this part rent and part appreciation strategy, which in 3 to 5 years, you will still get a good savings out of it. So what do I mean by this? So let's use this example of one Marina Gardens. Today, if I'm entering into a one bedroom of $1.2 million, using the example earlier, you'll be getting a rental of $4,600. Okay, of course, for a landlord, they will be paying monthly installment, and monthly installment consists of two things. One is the principal and one is the interest. Principal is what you save into the property, and at the end of the day when you sell the property, you'll be able to get back. And interest is a sunken cost to the bank. So imagine collecting $4,600 rental, minusing away the sunken cost, which is $1,875, minus away the maintenance fee, which is $300 per month, and minus property tax $100, you will still get $2,325 per month as a form of savings. Okay. So now, using a 5 years horizon, getting $2,325 savings, right? 5 years horizon, you'll be getting $139,500. So let's imagine, just now we mentioned that this unit over here will be resold at $1.3 million and you'll be getting a capital gain of 100k. How will it work out for you? Today, 5 years horizon, I'm getting 139,000 worth of savings plus 100,000 capital gains. The total profits that I'll be getting will be 239,000 for a one bedroom. And imagine 5 years later, I sell off at $1.35 million. My capital appreciation will be 150k. Same thing, same savings, 139,000 plus 150k. That works out to be $289,000 profits.
The amount seems a bit small, but if you relate back to the down payment that you put in, then you will realize actually still quite attractive. On the other hand, some of you may think that if let's say COVID come again, or rather market in downturn, what if my unit cannot rent out? So actually, before you enter into the one bedder over here, it's important to calculate the reserve fund to tide over this kind of period. So you can contact your agent to do such planning for you. If they don't know, then actually you can contact us for the further planning.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so our choice for the one bedroom, right? Our top choice will actually be the 420 square feet unit. Our take is that for one Marina Gardens, right, try to get the smaller unit so that your quantum is as low as possible. So what we have analyzed is that when the unit is small, chances are the per square foot of rental that you're getting is higher, and that actually allows you to secure a higher rental yield. Okay, and try not to go beyond $1.3 million, because seeing the rental over here, anything above 1.3, basically your rental yield may drop below 4%.
Of course, for this project, there is 8 types of one bedder, but today we won't go into the details. What we will share with you is the facing for the one bedder. So just now I mentioned, actually you can see the green color one is the one bedder. So mainly there's 2 types of facing. One is facing this side, then the other one is facing this side. So it's north-south facing. I would say it depends on the entry price, because actually for one bedder, facing actually not really important. Okay, so now we jump into 2 bedder. So for 2 bedder, we have 13 types of layout. The size is ranging from 646 square feet to 733 square feet. So there's total 13 type of layout. But the key difference between these 13 type is whether have enclosed kitchen or is kitchenette.
Yeah, recently we are seeing a lot of new developments, especially the Landor area or even the Toa Payoh area. Developers are starting to build a lot of enclosable kitchen 2-bedroom. And I think the trend moving forward, even in One Marina Gardens, right, we are seeing a lot of such layouts are being built over here. So I think the key question here is that enclosed kitchen versus a kitchenette, right? Will there be any difference in terms of the rental yield that I'll be collecting. So in fact, I'll be sharing one example, which is in Woolwich Residences. This one is a condo in Tanjong Pagar. Key thing is that the 2-bedroom over here, 1098 square feet, it comes with an enclosable kitchen. Versus 861 square feet, you can see that this one is a kitchenette. Somehow we realized that for enclosed kitchen, right, developer will need more space to build. Checking up the size, and that equates to a higher quantum. So let's see in terms of numbers, does it actually make sense or not? You can see that over here, 1098 square feet, 2-bedroom enclosable kitchen layout actually is collecting a rental of around $10.5 per square foot. Whereas the 800 plus square feet, 2-bedroom with a kitchenette, right, the per square foot rental is getting also similar at $10.5. So key thing here is that you can see the entry price between these two units, one is 3.4 million and one is 2.7 million, and that definitely affect the rental yield. So you can see the enclosable kitchen is only getting a rental yield of 3.8%, whereas the one with a kitchenette, smaller size, is getting 4.1%.
So I would say in this example, actually layout doesn't really matter, but the size matter.
Yes. So another example, you can see even in Icon and Sky Suites, Icon is having a bigger size, better layout, as compared to Sky Suites having a smaller size, lousier layout. Why do I say so? Is because you can see Icon comes with an enclosable kitchen, even a household shelter, whereas as compared to Sky Suite, you are getting bay window, planter box, and only a kitchenette. So you can see in this example, right, Icon being a 2-bedroom, 900 to 1000 square feet, the rental collector is around $6+. Whereas for Sky Suite, right, 600 to 700 square feet, 2-bedroom, this one is getting around $8+ to even $10. So you can see that in areas like this, the layout doesn't matter. Key thing is tenant, what they need, right, is the essential configuration. Meaning to say, again, example, 2-bedroom, I will need definitely 2-bedroom. I will need a kitchen. I will need a toilet. That's all. I don't need fanciful things like a very big space, chandelier, balcony, all this, because usually tenants, when they come back from work, what they do is they need their sleep, and then the next day they'll be going back to the office again.
Most of the time spent in the office, I would say.
Yes. For the 2-bedroom, our top choice will be first the open concept kitchen 2-bedroom. Okay, followed by this one also open concept, but this one has a study. Okay, followed by lastly the enclosed kitchen. When you get an enclosed kitchen, your size is also bigger, and end day the quantum is also higher.
Now we're going to analyze 3-bedder in one Marina Garden. So we total have 7 types of 3-bedder, ranging from size 969 square feet to 1,238 square feet.
So for the 3-bedrooms, right, we won't really go too much in that because we foresee there won't be a lot of local demand buying into one Marina Gardens. However, we do see that there's one 3-bedroom layout which is quite interesting that we want to share with the audience here, the 3-bedroom dual key. So why is this interesting? Just now, based on our analysis, potentially you are able to collect up to $11 per square foot. When it comes to dual key, one good thing is that you actually have 2 options. The first option is that you rent out the unit as a whole. The second option is that you break out into 2 units and you rent out as one 1-bedroom and one 2-bedroom. If I were to do that, right, the rental that we will be collecting is much higher than renting out as just one whole unit. So for this example, you can see if I were to rent out a 1-bedroom at $5,000 and a 2-bedroom at $7,200, the rental that I'll be collecting per month is as high as $12,000. And today, if the 3-bedroom dual key entry price is at $2.8 million, that means that I will be getting potentially a 5.2% rental yield. So today, if I'm having a 5.2% rental yield kind of property, right, I know that I'll have investor buying from me, which means to say that there is a potential for capital appreciation.
Okay, so to add on what Ryan mentioned, there's very rare to see local demand here. So how does it impact us when we want to exit? Because actually we lose chunk of people, they want to buy our property. When there is low demand, the price will not be so fantastic as well. This is what we're thinking. But of course, with 2.8 million entry price, I feel that actually there's a lot more product can enter.
Yes, what we're trying to say here is that it's also not easy for an investor to swallow. Today, if I buy at 2.8, right, I definitely won't sell at 2.8. I'll probably sell at 3.2 million up. As an investor, to buy a 3+ million for investment, it may not be so easy because the quantum is not as palatable as something that's below 2 million.
So we always emphasize that if today we want to come from investment perspective, we want to buy something that next time next buyer want to on use, so they are more willing to pay. So in this example, I leave it to you. Depends on the risk appetite that you guys have.
Yes. So lastly, we come to the 4-bedroom. So 4-bedroom, we only have one type, which is the 1647 square feet layout. For this 4-bedroom over here, you will be getting the best view in terms of getting the Gardens by the Bay view. So I want to talk a little bit about the demographics of this area because we used to serve high-end clients who are looking at this area. And usually they will have a few characteristics. They want it to be a large floor plate, and they want it to have a good view and also a high floor. So let me take 3 examples of the demographics buying around this area. You can see that Woolwich Residence is 53% owned by foreigner. South Beach Residences, 62% is owned by foreigner as well. And Marina One Residences, 30% is owned by foreigner. So it actually shows one thing. In this area, there are a lot of foreigners that used to see. Why I say used to see? Because right now they are hit by the ABSD, so they cannot buy. So I bring you back for these South Beach Residences. There is a layout stack 6 that is facing the Marina Bay view, right? You can see over here, they actually make 2.2 million worth of profits. Okay, so I want to highlight on the date. You can see over here, this unit was sold in 20th of Feb 2023. And thereafter, all the transactions, right, actually lost money. You can see 2024, 2025, there was 2 transactions and both seller also lose money. So why is this so? Because if you look back to history, right, when did government actually increase the ABSD for foreigner? It was after April 27 in 2023. So that brings me to one point. For the 4-bedroom over here, not say you cannot buy, but you probably need a longer holding period. We are not trying to speculate, but if in the event that government actually reduces the ABSD, definitely this will interest a lot of foreigner to buy this unit. That's how actually South Beach, they actually managed to churn out such a huge profit. So in conclusion, this is our advice for those that is going for balloting for this one Marina Gardens. First is that because this development is built by Kingsford, based on their recent launch in Chuan Park, we do see that they actually load a very big premium on the 3rd floor. So here's what I will advise the audience here. You can take out a few stacks and check the prices between the 2nd and 3rd floor and see what is the jump. And for Kingsford, right, their track record is that they not just only load on the 3rd floor, they may also load on units that has good view. So in one Marina Gardens, we do have a good view of the bay view and the non-bay view. So this is something you may want to take note also, to check out the premium between the bay and non-bay view. If the premium for the bay view is more than 7%, then our suggestion is to go for something that has a non-bay view. But if the premium is less than 5%, actually we will suggest you to go for the bay view, because today you have a bay view, the rentability is also very high, meaning to say the tenants are also more willing to rent from you based on the view itself. The third advice that we want to share is that for Kingsford, right, there's a probability that they may load on the per floor level jump. Based on past history that we seen on Chuan Park and also Normanton Park, right, they didn't really load the per floor level jump to be that much. So you may want to take a look what's going to happen in one Marina Gardens and see what's the per floor level jump. If it's below $8,000, then I feel that it's no-brainer, you can go for the high floor units.
So actually all this strategy is to spot where the premium that developer actually put in, so we can avoid those, because when come to resell, these 2 units maybe will be same exit price.
Today we are talking a lot on rental yield. Today if you enter into a unit that has a very high entry price, it will definitely affect your rental yield. Today if your rental yield is not going to be very good, that actually increases your risk, and end day you cannot sell your property, then you make losses. Okay, so with that, we have come to the end of our analysis for one Marina Gardens. If you have any questions or rather you are confused about the data that we share, feel free to reach out with us and we'll definitely want to run through a more in-depth discussion with you
I will see you soon.
in the next analysis. Bye bye.